करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
From 1983 to now, I have
Good afternoon. We begin with fast-moving developments in the Middle East, where tensions between Israel, Iran and the US have spiraled into a wider regional conflict. At stake, Iran's survival strategy, Israel's deterrence doctrine, Lebanon's fragile stability, and the possibility of the redrawing of the Middle East at this point. A quick check on the headlines, and then we'll take you through our rolling coverage. F-15 fighter jet crashes in Kuwait, aircraft engulfed in flames, pilot ejects from aircraft, dramatic footage shared by Iranian media. Iran-Israel war escalates, multiple explosions heard in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem. This after Israel pounded Iran after strikes on Jerusalem. Key Hezbollah leader killed in Israeli strikes in Lebanon. Israel struck Lebanon after Hezbollah fires rockets and drones. Casualties reported. US President Donald Trump's big assassination claim, says Khamenei tried to kill him twice, asserts he got him before Khamenei got Trump. The big global effect and impact of this conflict. Sensex Nifty tank over oil price surge amid Iran-US conflict. Global crude benchmarks climb sharply. Brent futures rises to multi-month highs. Canadian Prime Minister Carney meets Prime Minister Modi in the national capital. Carney's historic trip to reset ties with India shortly. Press statements from the two leaders. Afghanistan strikes key military bases in Pakistan, including Noor Khan Air Base. The same base was earlier targeted during Operation Sindoor. News is coming in. The IDF has released a video of the attack on Hezbollah. Israeli strikes on Lebanon, remember, have killed about 31 people and wounded more than 140. And this is what the Lebanese Health Ministry had to say. Now, we have that video that the IDF has released, striking targets of terror group Hezbollah. The IDF has now begun striking additional targets is what the IDF is saying of the terrorist organization Hezbollah in Lebanon. Among the targets that were struck, weapons storage facilities and additional infrastructure of the terrorist organization Hezbollah in several areas in Lebanon. Aditya Rajkol joining me live. Aditya, this was something that was expected after the last few hours of what we've seen on the ground. Now the casualties really going up in Lebanon.
Well, that's right. The casualties are going up in Lebanon since early morning today when projectiles were seen coming in from the Hezbollah side in Lebanon. Immediately, Israeli Air Force and the IDF launched a massive attack against the storage facilities of the Hezbollah in Beirut and several other areas of Lebanon. These are massive strikes that we are talking about against Hezbollah, which was trying to join the war in support of Iran against Israel and United States. So these are videos that are coming across from the IDF. Very dramatic visuals of the airstrikes, the pounding of the bombs that has taken place. Really very, very dramatic visuals from the IDF taken from the air when the launch of these bombs towards the storage facilities of the Hezbollah took place in Lebanon. The casualties are mounting. We've been told that more than 20 people have been killed in these fresh airstrikes that have happened in Lebanon. Since early morning, these attacks have actually taken shape across the Hezbollah centers in Lebanon as well. On the other hand, of course, there are reports of fresh strikes in Tehran, in eastern Tehran. The IDF and the Israeli Air Force has conducted operations against the Iranian regime. There seems to be some centers of the Iranian regime or the IRGC in that entire area where the action has actually taken place. And now we are waiting for further confirmation of what route this entire development will take as of now. There are massive clashes that are being reported. We haven't seen the end of it. There are also reports of fire being seen at the US Embassy in Kuwait. Apart from that, there are also unconfirmed reports from the Iranian media that American F-15 jet could have crashed there after a projectile hit it. So these are very serious and critical developments taking at this shape. Even as I continue to report from Israel, there were a couple of sirens early in the morning here in Israel, after which people took to shelter. There were multiple Iranian missiles that were intercepted and neutralized over the skyline of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem as well. Till now, there have been 3 to 4 major impacts in the last 2 days that have happened, in which there have been more than 10 casualties and more than 50 people injured here in Israel. Back to you.
All right, more news coming in as a part of the wider retaliatory strikes. We are getting breaking news coming in that Iran has struck Bahrain with ballistic missiles this morning. Tehran isn't just targeting Israel, it is firing across the Arab world. Now, like Aditya was pointing out, we also have the US Embassy in Kuwait now saying there is continuing threat of missile and UAV attacks over Kuwait. Take cover in your residence on the lowest available floor and away from windows. Do not go outside. Aditya Rajkol, we were just talking about Kuwait and about that fighter jet also that has been down there. But now you have the US Embassy in Kuwait coming out and putting out an advisory there that there's this continuing threat of missile and UAV attacks over Kuwait. Also, the worry is for the embassy itself, Aditya.
Well, absolutely. The worry is for the embassy. There is, in fact, a statement that have been put out, an advisory just now by the US Embassy in Kuwait, advising people to take precautions, the staff as well as American nationals in Kuwait. It's a detailed advisory that's been issued just moments ago when news erupted that there's been fire at the US Embassy in Kuwait, smoke seen in that entire area, and also an F-15 likely that seems to have crashed over the Kuwaiti airspace. Now there are reports coming in of a drone attack and ballistic missile attack against Bahrain. Now remember, over the last 2 days as well, there have been attacks against Bahrain where hotels as well as other critical infrastructure has been attacked by the Iranian side. The same situation has been witnessed in UAE as well, where both Dubai and Abu Dhabi have come under attack, including the Dubai International Airport. The Burj Al Khalifa had a drone attack nearby. And apart from that, the Burj Al Arab Hotel, where the lights went off completely and there was minor damage that was reported. In Palm Jumeirah as well, there were reports of fire and missile actually, projectiles actually, acting in that manner. So as of now, this is the day 3, Vedika, that we are talking about of Iranian retaliation and also fresh strikes from American and the Israeli side. The visuals on the screen are coming from multiple locations in Kuwait. One, smoke coming out from the US Embassy in Kuwait, and secondly, of the jet, the American F-15 that has been likely shot down, has been downed by the Iranian missile or a drone. So as of now, we don't have a confirmation from the American side, but this is a very, very dramatic situation that is taking shape. Very dramatic visuals on the screen. If at all an F-15 has been targeted, it's a huge escalation by the Iranian side. One, that Trump will not look at lightly, and there could be worst case scenario, major strikes by the American side on the Tehran Iranian regime.
Let's just take a step back, Aditya. When we look at these conflicts widening at this time, there is no side that's blinking first. In fact, there have been aggressive stands that continue to be taken by all stakeholders.
Well, absolutely. Very aggressive stance that have been taken, especially because when the talks were underway in Geneva, the attacks came in just moments after that. And that's why the side from Oman, the Oman foreign minister, came out with his first statement, showing his complete dismay on the way things have really unfolded over the last 2 days. The Oman foreign minister was mediating the talks over the last few weeks, and he expected that the talks would resume in Vienna, Austria, where the technical details had to be finalized next week before an agreement could have been reached between the American side and the Iranian side. But the American and the Israeli side has been maintaining that they gave ample time to the Iranian side to come on the dialogue table and have an agreement, but there were no assurances that were coming in, and that's why now there is aggressive posturing from both sides. On one hand, Iran is saying that their supreme leader has been killed. There are more than 40 top commanders of the IRGC who have been eliminated, and that's why Iran will continue to retaliate. On one hand, you have also the American and the Israeli side, which says that they will completely disarm Iran of the nuclear capability and not rest until the Iranian regime is completely eradicated. So very critical threats that are coming from both sides. Now there's a new governing council that has been set up by the Iranian regime, which will take control of the governance measures there in Iran. But will they be able to bring situation under control? Will they be able to control the IRGC and the people as well, and also the protests that we have witnessed over the last many weeks, which led to many casualties as well? So very important developments taking across West Asia.
But Aditya, when we look at these visuals, you've had Iran saying that these are retaliatory strikes targeting US bases, perhaps, but the collateral damage is for all to see, be it Iran, be it Israel.
Well, absolutely. There is a lot of collateral damage, especially the civilian population and public infrastructure that has come under attack continuously, particularly not in Israel, because there have been 3 places that have been targeted. But I think the worst case has been with the UAE, with Dubai and Abu Dhabi facing the worst brunt. And apart from that, we've had also 2 casualties, one Pakistani national and one Nepalese national who have been killed in Dubai and Abu Dhabi in these Iranian missile attacks. There have been several other people who've been injured and shifted to the hospital. Very dramatic and very disturbing visuals that have coming in from the Dubai International Airport that has been targeted multiple times, and other important hotels and places in UAE as well. But this morning, on the 3rd day, fresh attacks in Israel that have been neutralized, but also in Bahrain and Kuwait as well.
Do stay with me while we also update our viewers on what else is developing in terms of this huge escalation that is taking place in West Asia. Iran has claimed that it has shot down a F-15 fighter jet which crashed in Kuwait as the Middle East war escalated. Visuals which have emerged showed an F-15 jet spiraling downwards in slow motion with flames visible from its rear. But it was not immediately clear, and I'm going to bring in Aditya on this. It's not immediately clear, Aditya, if the plane belonged to the US or Israel, since both operate the fighter jet.
Well, that's right. It's not clear, but most likely it could be the American F-15, because there are American bases in and around Kuwait. We are talking about all those countries with US bases that have come under attack, be it Kuwait, Qatar, UAE or Bahrain. So clearly there's been a statement that has been issued by the US, UK and a lot of their allies in this entire region. So of course, it's a very volatile situation that we are talking about, but these are very, very concerning, critical and dramatic visuals on the screen. If at all it is true that an American aircraft and jet F-15 has been neutralized and shot down by the Iranian projectile, it is a massive escalation that we are talking about. One where Trump and Peter Hegseth will react very, very sharply, and there could be another blow, a very serious blow in terms of escalation from the American and the Israeli side when you're talking about strikes against Tehran that have only continued over the last few days. So there could be possibly more strikes against the Iranian regime, government buildings, paramilitary and the IRGC that could be targeted.
Aditya, do stay with me. It's very important for our viewers to understand how far this conflict has escalated, because of which we're going to get you some very strong defining images from across the Middle East at this point to show you the impact of the damage on both sides. Now, Israel continues to pound Iran. Several consecutive explosions happen at a site in eastern Tehran, as you can see on your screen. Israel launched strikes on Lebanon's capital, Beirut, after the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah fired missiles across the border. We do know that the casualty figure is going up as we speak. The IDF target Beirut after Hezbollah launched strikes on Israeli base. Beirut Airport Road has been targeted in those strikes by Israel. The IDF has released footage of an Israeli strike on air defense systems in Tehran. Israel has intensified attacks on Iran following the recent escalation. The US military has claimed strike on Iran's ballistic missile facilities in a video released by Central Command. US claimed Iran's ballistic missiles have been a dangerous threat for decades, a threat that is now being eliminated. US Central Command has also released video footage of strikes on Iran as part of Operation Epic Fury. US claims that these strikes will continue to eliminate imminent threats posed by the Iranian regime. Also, inferno at the docks, massive blaze breaks out at maritime facility near Aki Manama port following Iranian attack. Staying with Bahrain, the conflict fire has also spread to other Gulf nations. Drone attacks continue to be reported in Bahrain. The skyline shows a plume of smoke over the capital city. A huge fire reportedly ignited by an Iranian strike on a US naval facility at Bahrain Salman port. The port houses the US Navy's Central Command and 5th Fleet. Several people have been injured after an Iranian ballistic missile struck a road in West Jerusalem. Missiles could be seen bypassing air defenses in the city. This as Iran retaliated with a fresh wave of missile attacks on Israel. Multiple injuries have been reported. A direct ballistic missile strike in Jerusalem. Medical teams are seen in this video scanning the area for wounded. Multiple injuries reported.
Oh my God.
Iranian missile shrapnel also hit a vehicle while it was in motion in Jerusalem, leaving 7 people injured. One of them is serious. A police station in 104 in Tehran's Abbasabad district, a government building, was targeted in the recent US-Israeli strikes. The video shows the scale of destruction. Israel also targeted the Iran state broadcaster late night. Images show a ball of fire and smoke coming out of the building in Tehran. The broadcaster confirmed it had been struck. Major missile attacks were also reported in Tel Aviv. Israel's Iron Dome was in action as it intercepted the incoming missiles. Sirens blared across the city. Video coming from Tehran shows the damage to a hospital. Iran alleges that US-Israel strikes have targeted civilian areas. Iran rockets and projectiles also hit West Bank. Tehran has vowed harsh punishment in retaliation for the killing of Ayatollah Khamenei. The US Central Command has released a video of US B-2 stealth bombers armed with 2,000-pound bombs that struck Iran's hardened ballistic missile facilities. A US military base in Erbil in Iraqi Kurdistan has reportedly been attacked by Iran. The theater of the Middle East war continues to expand. A new video shows Iranian 136 drone flying through Dubai skyline. That's the number of drones that you can see, some of them on your screens there. Iran has been launching drone attacks on Dubai through the night. Satellite images accessed by NDTV show at least 2 separate fires in Dubai. Iran has been using drone strikes to hit key ports and buildings in Dubai. Meanwhile, anti-US protests continue to rage on in Shia countries. In Baghdad, the protests in support of Khamenei also turned violent. A new video from Karachi, Pakistan shows US personnel opening fire on protesters who try to storm the consulate. After Khamenei's killing, at least 9 people have been killed. All right, we brought you those visuals. We brought you the large-scale impact of this conflict, which has entered its 3rd day. But now I want to show to you, when it comes to the retaliatory strikes, the impact to the Middle East at this point. We're going to pull up that map for you. Iran has attacked parts of the Middle East. You can see Israel, Jordan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE. Now, these are retaliatory strikes on this entire region. As you can see, of course, they've all come out to condemn these attacks, but that's the latest in terms of the widespread attacks, attacks by Iran at this point in the Middle East. This could redefine the red lines within the region. All right, now Iran has released footage of its drone arsenal and launches towards US-Israeli targets in the region. This is coming in from Press TV. The images and the video that you see on your screens, this is part of its arsenal that it is using to target both the United States of America, their bases in the Middle East region, as well as targets within Israel. Ghazali is joining me live. Ghazali, we can see that propaganda video that Iran has put out claiming that this is the ammo, this is the arsenal being used against both the United States of America as well as Israel.
See, misinformation, counter-information, this will float from both sides, and Press TV has been releasing such footage. First, we got that footage of F-15 getting shot down. Then reports emerged that perhaps it's a friendly fire which led to that incident in Kuwait. And now this arsenal video from Iranian side, perhaps to boost the morale of the of its own people over there, that despite the top leader getting eliminated, and despite US reports confirming or suggesting that they have limited arsenal which can go for a few days, Iran also wants to send out a message that it is there for a long haul, and this is what we are picking up, because Iran's strategy right now is to keep targeting the maritime trade routes, the financial centers, and that is why every now and then we are hearing the reports or sounds of explosions from different countries in Middle East, and it is all those either ports, airspace, or the financial centers in UAE, Kuwait, and Qatar. So Iran is trying to perhaps put more pressure on the Middle Eastern partners or neighborhood to force US to come to the negotiating table, rather than showing that Iran wants to initiate the negotiation.
But Ghazali, the point here also is that this is not Venezuela when it comes to US President Donald Trump, something that perhaps a lot of experts have also weighed in on. This is Iran, it's in survival mode, and it's vowed that it's not only going to be retaliating to those strikes, but it will be eliminating the enemy, and this should continue to be a worry. Forget the propaganda video for now, but that is the bottom line as we speak. These tensions are spiraling, the conflict is spiraling, and Iran is in no mood to give in.
Certainly, because any analyst or a strategist who thought that perhaps just killing Mr. Khamenei in Iran would bring a regime change without having any boots on the ground is not looking very likely in the next coming days, because it's been 2-3 days since US and Israel jointly attacked Iran, and after that it was perhaps expected that people will come out on the street. It will be more like a situation what we saw in Iraq with Mr. Saddam Hussein, or what we saw in Libya with Gaddafi, but that has not happened here. IRGC or the Iranian forces are still in command. Perhaps some of the top commanders have been killed, but the chain of command or through which the instructions are being passed on is still existing there. We have Iranian foreign minister admitting that that though there is some discrepancy or when it comes to passing on the instruction, there are some independent decisions which are being taken by the IRGC, but the transition of this entire leadership in Iran, which was expected that perhaps the chain has been broken after Mr. Khamenei's death, it still looks intact. There were protests, there were people who were rejoicing his death, but there were enough number of people who are mourning also for the death of Mr. Khamenei. So perhaps that is why after 3 days of this attack, US and its allies as well as Iran, they're all looking towards the negotiating table.
Ghazali, you're going to stay with me. We're just going to play out that video that has been released by Iran. It's been released by Press TV. Ghazali, while we put out that propaganda video as well by Iran, what is to be noted here is while they claim that their targets are essentially US bases in and around the region, the civilian casualties also mounting at this point.
Yes, civilian casualties mounting in every country. We have reports from Qatar, we had reports from Kuwait. Israel obviously is facing a major brunt of that. Many deaths have been reported from there as well. But this is a direct ploy of Iran. The intention is to keep attacking every country. Maybe the frequency will reduce in the coming days as the clamor grows louder for more negotiations. But there is not even one single West Asian country over there which has not come under attack from Iran. Perhaps Oman was one till yesterday, because it appeared that Oman had started these negotiations between US and Iran. So perhaps it will be saved from these attacks, but it has also come under attack. So perhaps the entire point of these attacks from Iran is to keep continuing to keep pushing for negotiations and not also appear as if they initiated the negotiations. So it's more about perception that in the eyes of its own people, it should not look that Iranian regime has weakened and they are looking for peace talks. But on the simultaneously, they will keep continuing the attacks in the neighborhood on the US bases as they claim, but it is also ending up creating a lot of casualties.
Right, Ghazali, do stay with me. We want to just take our viewers through this latest video that has been released by Iran at this point. Ghazali reporting on it. Ghazali, also, this is a survival game for Iran at this point. They have lost their leader, their supreme leader, but there is a chain of command for now, while a formal chain of command needs to be established, but that's not taking away from the aggression and the claims they're making at this point.
We can't dispute the intelligence. Largely, the intelligence of US and Israel has not sort of produced any fake reports, because Israel and US had only initially said that we are getting reports that Mr. Khamenei has been killed in the morning attack on day one, which Iran kept sort of negating, or Iran kept denying it till the late evening. But there is also other side of the story is that martyrdom is celebrated in that particular country and community. So even if the supreme leader is killed, that is something which is being celebrated, and even if there are top leaders have been killed, the chain of command still exists. The foreign minister is there, top IRGC commanders who were very close to Khamenei have replaced the ones who were killed in these operations. So Iran's army, or what you call the IRGC, and other forces are still in place. There has been no defection as per the US reports. There has been no defection in any of these forces in Iran. So perhaps the attacks will continue as long as they have this arsenal in their command.
Ali, thanks for joining me live. All right, there's been a big warning to Hezbollah by Israel. Israel's big warning to Hezbollah at a time when the strikes can be seen also taking place against Hezbollah in the region. We just are bringing you images as well. Remember, the casualty figure has gone up in Lebanon as well. This remains an intense conflict that continues to spread over the region, and now we have a warning coming in from Israel.
הערכה התקפית מול חיזבאללה, אנחנו לא רק בהגנה, אנחנו יוצאים עכשיו להתקפה. צריך להיערך למספר יממות של לחימה, רבות מאוד. צריך היערכות הגנתית חזקה, והיערכות התקפית מתמשכת עכשיו בגלים כל הזמן, וכמובן כל הזמן ניצול הזדמנויות. אנחנו פתחנו במערכה התקפית מול חיזבאללה, אנחנו לא רק בהגנה, אנחנו יוצאים עכשיו להתקפה. צריך להיערך למספר יממות של לחימה, רבות מאוד. צריך היערכות הגנתית חזקה, והיערכות התקפית מתמשכת עכשיו בגלים כל הזמן, וכמובן כל הזמן ניצול הזדמנויות. אנחנו פתחנו במערכה התקפית מול חיזבאללה, אנחנו לא רק בהגנה, אנחנו יוצאים עכשיו להתקפה. צריך להיערך למספר יממות של לחימה, רבות מאוד. צריך היערכות הגנתית חזקה, והיערכות התקפית מתמשכת עכשיו בגלים כל הזמן, וכמובן כל הזמן ניצול הזדמנויות. אנחנו פתחנו במערכה התקפית מול חיזבאללה, אנחנו לא רק בהגנה, אנחנו יוצאים עכשיו להתקפה. צריך להיערך למספר יממות של לחימה, רבות מאוד.
All right, so that's the IDF chief warning the Hezbollah at a time when Israeli strikes on Lebanon have killed at least 31 people and wounded about 149. The Lebanese Health Ministry has come out with those figures as Israel's military threatened to intensify its attacks following the Hezbollah rocket fire. You have that big warning coming out to Israel as expected from the IDF chief, who has said be prepared for many days of fighting. Well, that doesn't only hold for Israel and Lebanon, it holds for the entire region, given that no stakeholder is blinking first. We've entered the third day of this conflict that is widening by the hour. Also, the Lebanon ministry in its statement has said that Israeli enemy raids on Beirut's southern suburbs and southern Lebanon have resulted in an initial count in the killing of 31 citizens and wounding of 149 citizens as well. The Israeli military had launched strikes on Lebanon, including the capital Beirut, to target militants, is what Lebanon has said on Monday after Tehran-backed Hezbollah fired rockets at Israel in response to the killing of the Iranian supreme leader. Ghazali back with us. Ghazali, that warning coming from the IDF chief.
Yeah, so IDF has been warning the residents of Beirut that maybe there will be more incoming strikes if Hezbollah continues to strike Israel. So Israel finally getting back to the same 2023 war mode where it was facing attack from Houthis, was facing attack from Iraqi militias, or what Israel often calls the seven-front war. So on this front, till yesterday, it was just Iran, which was attacking 7 countries in Middle East. Now Israel will have to counter a similar kind of say hostility from its closest neighbor by Hezbollah in Lebanon. From Lebanese side, the attacks started happening early morning. Israel also reacted, and retaliatory strikes were done on urban areas in Beirut, and Israel claimed that perhaps those were the command centers or weapons storehouses for Hezbollah. It also claims that top leadership of Hezbollah has yet again been killed in these attacks. But the overall story is that how far or how long will this continue? Whether Hezbollah will continue to keep striking Israel in the northern area, on the northern border of Israel, or will it not escalate the situation? Because last time when Hezbollah escalated the situation, it ended up seeing loss of leadership with Hassan Nasrallah, the secretary of Hezbollah, the biggest leader, one of the biggest faces of Hezbollah, who was killed in a major strike by Israel in Lebanon. So right now the situation is very fluid. Everybody is looking at United States whether they will go for negotiations or not. Trump is also giving very conflicting statements. There is no timeline of the war. Perhaps the objective of this entire war was to have regime change. That hasn't happened. They expected perhaps people to get onto the streets for general uprising and overthrow the entire Iranian regime. That has not happened. The religious leadership is still intact. Their parliament is still intact. People close to Mr. Khamenei are still alive. There are more people who are mourning than people who were rejoicing his death. So amid all this fact, and Iran continues to attack most of those Middle Eastern countries, amid this, Hezbollah has also joined in.
And that's the worry at this point, viewers. The proxy war also that has started at this point, which in itself is a parallel war against the stakeholders here and could be extremely worrying for the US as well as Israel. Now, Hezbollah has joined in Iran in the war with Israel. Conflict is spreading to Lebanon as IDF strikes Hezbollah after an attack on Israel. Israel launched a barrage of strikes in Lebanon's capital, Beirut, after the Hezbollah fired missiles across the border. The IDF has also hit weapons storage facilities and additional infrastructure of the terrorist organization Hezbollah in several areas in Lebanon. Meanwhile, the head of Hezbollah's parliamentary faction, Mohammad Raad, has been killed during IDF strikes, and Israeli air attacks on Lebanon have killed at least 31 people, wounding close to 150. Beirut's airport road also has been destroyed in the Israeli attacks. People have been seen fleeing Beirut's southern suburbs. Massive pile of cars there that you can see back to back in the area after Israeli strikes hit the area. In a statement, Israel has said that they have targeted senior Hezbollah figures in Beirut. You just heard from the IDF chief as well. Now, US President Donald Trump made a big comment on the killing of Iran's supreme leader, asserting that he moved first to neutralize what he described as an imminent threat to his own life. He claimed, and I'm going to quote him here, "I got him before he got me. They tried twice, well, I got him first," unquote, apparently referring to a 2024 Iran-linked plot that US authorities had earlier said was aimed at assassinating the United States of America president. Trump further asserted that the war with Iran can go on for the next 4 weeks, as Iran is a big country.
We cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons, would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. These actions are a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death.
Well, allies of the US also bearing the brunt when it comes to this conflict in the Middle East. The latest that we're getting for you is Iran has struck an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. This is an oil refinery in Tanura in Saudi Arabia. Ghazali is going to join us shortly to bring you more details on this development. Ghazali, just bring us the developments in terms of this news that we're sharing with our viewers. Like I said, you have allies of the stakeholders on both sides clearly bearing the brunt. In this case, this time, once again, it's Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, while Saudi Arabia, a foreign publication report suggested that perhaps Saudi Arabia and Israel kept pushing Mr. Trump to attack Iran, while in public Saudi kept talking about de-escalation. And it was expected that perhaps Iran will avoid attacking Saudi Arabia. Till yesterday, in strong worded comments, Saudi Arabia was also issuing a statement saying that perhaps Iran should not attack our brotherly Arab countries. And today the reports are coming that one of its oil refineries, Aramco oil refineries in Ras Ras Tanura has been attacked by Iranian drones. So first major attack, though what I'm picking is that it's a limited attack. The fire was there, but that has been controlled by the authorities. But in symbolic terms, it's a big attack, because last time oil refinery in Saudi Arabia was attacked, it was by the Houthis in Yemen. So it's a direct attack from Iran. We are still not sure if it is just Iran which is attacking the oil refinery, or its allies or its proxies in the Middle East, be it Hezbollah in Lebanon or the Houthis in Yemen. So that is still unclear, but Iran perhaps is involved in this particular attack. Its Shahed drones are involved in attacking or striking those oil refineries in Ras Tanura area near Riyadh.
All right, Ghazali, thanks for joining me live there. I want to introduce our guests also who are joining us on this rolling coverage on the crisis and the conflict in the Middle East. We have Ariel Kahan, a diplomatic commentator, Israel Ayom Daily, joining me live from Jerusalem, and we have Ali Dirios, Associate Professor of Taub University, joining me live from Turkey at this point. I'm going to start with you, Ariel. I want to understand from you what is going on around you before we get into obviously the details and the brass tacks of this entire issue that we are discussing, and our rolling coverage continues on this. You are in Jerusalem. I want to understand from you what you've seen around you since the early hours of this morning.
Good morning, Vedika from Jerusalem. Yes, we just an hour ago, we were going to the shelters because another Iranian missile was shot at our neighborhood, at our area. We have to take cover to be safe, and thanks to God, my family and myself and my neighbors are all okay. No one was injured in the last attack by Iran. But this attack comes after a quiet night, which means the Iranians are shooting way less than what they used to do in the first days or in the previous operation we had against them. It brings me to tell you that Iran is way, way weaker than what it used to be a year ago, a half year ago, including the proxies, Hezbollah or Hamas, are way, way weaker. Actually, Hamas is not shooting at all in this round. Hezbollah was shooting last night, as you described before. Hezbollah tonight joins the war, but again, they are way, way weaker. And regarding Iran itself, their skies are open for our airplanes to attack. We had in the first round, the Israeli had 200 aircrafts attacking Iran. Of course, we have the United States with us. So it's not only Israel in this front, it's the United States. Maybe Arab countries will now join because Iran is attacking everyone in the neighborhood, actually. So I feel we are in a much better place, not only for Israel, but actually for the entire world. Iran is a danger. I mean, this regime is a danger to the entire world. Just guess if they would have a nuclear weapon, what would happen to the world?
To stay with me, Ali, thank you for joining me here on Breaking Ground. The worry for Israel and the US should also be the proxies in this conflict.
Yes, hello. And first of all, I would like to wish Ariel to be safe, and I wish peace in the region. And yes, well, I do agree with him that Iran has been weakened, especially with the view of the proxies. But yesterday, something important, Hezbollah has entered the game, not only vis-a-vis Israel, but also vis-a-vis Cyprus. There was an attempt of an attack on a British base, sovereign British base on the island of Cyprus. And Cyprus, which is, as many of you may or may not know, some of the viewers, is an issue between Turkey and the Greek Separate Administration and Greece and the EU. But it is also an EU member state. So Cyprus, so EU territory, from the perspective of the European Union, has been now subject to one of the proxies attacks, and that has been a warning sign, especially for Turkey is concerned, of the possibilities of this conflict expanding broader into the region. We've already had 7 countries in the Middle East, plus Lebanon yesterday, that have been involved. Also, of course, Israel has been attacked. Beirut has been bombed, and we've seen other countries, in more than 7, sorry. We have United Arab Emirates. So we are really worried that this can become an even broader regional conflict. And my worry is that the 4 days or a couple of days has already been announced as becoming 4 months, possibly by President Trump. And my worry is that those 4 months will 4 weeks will become 4 months, and that can even drag on longer because regime change is a risky business. And as far as many people in Turkey are concerned, or academics, you do need the consent and the will of the people to have a regime change. You cannot superimpose it. And it's only up to the Iranian people to change their own regime.
Right, but Ariel, I want to come back to you and I want to understand from you. We know that Iran has entered a survival mode, but it's not Venezuela, and US and Israel should be aware of it. I mean, this is a country that has survived so much. It's had the supreme leader at the top for decades. It's had clarity in many ways on how to take on its enemies. So this is not a Venezuela that can be taken over easily.
You're right. And actually, from Israeli point of view, there are two goals over here. The first one, and hopefully it will be succeed, is to change the regime. But as my colleague just said, it's not easy, and no one can guarantee that it will be possible to change the regime, to topple this extreme Shia regime in Iran. But there is another goal, and that is to eliminate their military capabilities, because we see what they do now. They attack, again, everyone in the Middle East, okay? Including Cyprus, as you just mentioned. By the way, there is a new update I just got from my paper, which Turkey closed the borders with Iran, probably because of the risk to Turkey itself. So we have now the entire region burning because of Iran. Just imagine what would happen if we would wait 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and let them have much more missiles, much more drones, and even nuclear weapon. That's what we had here on the table. And that's why, in my opinion, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu's decision to go and to be the first to attack Iran was so important, because it's for the sake of the Middle East, it's for the sake of the world, actually, for the free world. And hopefully, and again, that's another goal, hopefully it will bring also freedoms and democracy to Iran one day, hopefully.
Do stay with me, gentlemen, because I want our viewers to also understand that the American B-2 Spirit stealth bombers were at the center of the strikes in Iran. U.S. Central Command has confirmed that Iran's ballistic missile infrastructure was by B-2 bombers in a long-range mission. Now, the bombers reportedly departed from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, flying nearly 37 hours to reach their targets. Officials say multiple guided munitions, including bunker-penetrating variants like the GBU-31 fitted with BLU-109 warheads, were used to strike what CENTCOM described as hardened ballistic missile facilities. This follows last year's large-scale mission dubbed Operation Midnight Hammer, where U.S. forces deployed 7 B-2 bombers in coordinated strikes on key nuclear facilities, including Fordo and Natanz. Now, the B-2 Spirit remains one of the most advanced stealth bombers in the world, designed to penetrate heavily defended airspace and strike strategic targets with precision, reinforcing Washington's message that long-range deterrence remains firmly intact. Okay, this is something that we were expecting. What you see on your screens is the shock from the West Asia war. We've been told that the Sensex has plummeted about 1,100 points. We were expecting this after this weekend of conflict, and that's what we have for you. Gauri will be joining us shortly, but the impact will be intense for the coming days, given now that you have the US President Donald Trump also coming out and stating that this conflict could go on for a while because of what is on in the Middle East. No side blinking first. This is the third day of the conflict on the ground, and the Sensex now plummeting, the markets coming down with 1,100 points. This is, of course, going to remain to be a worry. We are going to bring you all the details from the markets as well, but you have the impact being widespread at this point, with the stock markets tanking 1,100 points. This is as the conflict intensifies. You also have the worry of crude prices being hit and being impacted at this point, but crude prices are surging. Gauri, the impact could be long drawn given what the President of the United States has also said earlier today, that this could be a protracted conflict.
Indeed, and it's very significant, Vedika, in terms of just how sharply the reactions have come in. The Sensex, the last I checked, was almost about 1,450 points down. The Nifty is also significantly impacted, even as oil prices have climbed. And, this also is indicative of just how much investor sentiment, market sentiment has been impacted. When it comes to India, our impact is on three fronts. First and foremost, India is a country that imports 85% of its energy needs, 40% of which come from Strait of Hormuz. That has been closed by Iran. So that means that where do we get our energy in terms of our overall energy security? That's a key concern, and that is being reflected in the sentiment that is there on the markets. The second important aspect that one needs to point out is because we import and we pay in dollars, the moment the currency gets impacted, we end up paying more. Obviously, in such a volatile situation, currency markets do get impacted. So the moment Indian rupee becomes gets devalued against the American dollar, it will cost us more to buy the exact same amount of oil. And that is again something that is being reflected in the tentativeness and negativity in the markets. And the third important point I want to point out is that global supply lines are at risk right now. What Houthis, Hezbollah and Hamas, apart from several other terror outfits in the region, have capability of is to strike shipping lines in the entire Red Sea, all of which they are not just capable of, but have indicated their intent to do so, which is why there is now a huge amount of concern globally and is being reflected in India as well.
Gauri, thanks for joining us live. That this continues to remain a worry, not only for India, Gauri, at this point, but across the world, given the region that we're talking about, the conflict that continues and will continue with the aggression that we're seeing on both ends of this conflict. Moving on now, in Dubai, drones were seen flying over residential areas for a second day in a row. Footage has emerged which showed an Iranian drone flying over Dubai. Satellite images also showed a plume of smoke over Dubai. What is significant is that the UAE has now shut stock markets for 2 days. Both Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange and Dubai financial markets have been closed. The move is aimed at containing the financial fallout of this conflict. The UAE has also summoned Iranian ambassador, calling strikes by Iran as terrorist assaults. UAE has demanded an urgent end to hostilities, adding that they responded to right to respond. From Dubai and Abu Dhabi to Sharjah, several key sites appear to have been targeted, underlining the widening scope of Iranian strikes across the UAE. Now, NDTV Profits Managing Editor Tamanna Inamdar also spoke to Samir Arora, founder and fund manager for Helios Capital, who is based out of Dubai, on what the situation is on the ground there.
Samir, thank you so much for speaking with us, and we'll talk about a variety of things. I noticed the blinds are shut behind you, but I assume that the view is fine and everything is safe and sound.
No. I didn't want to close the blinds. Actually, behind is Burj Tower, but the light is so strong. Otherwise, I don't want this very boring background that I have.
So you should just open it.
I don't mind opening it.
Yeah, open it. Give us open it and give us at least a peek of what the Burj is looking like.
No, but you won't be able to see, na.
We'll see it for a second. We're seeing it for a second, and it's good, Samir, because that's what happens in the world of social media, right? Everyone is thinking, oh, the Burj was attacked. You're sitting there with the Burj behind you.
And the Burj is here, and we paid extra for this view, of course, before we knew that this is happening.
I hope your current hotel stays comped, because I believe the Dubai government has done that for everyone, which I thought was a fantastic gesture.
No. It's been done by Abu Dhabi only, not by Dubai.
Okay, you don't need it, Samir. It's okay. You can enjoy the view of the Burj and pay for it.
We'll continue with all the updates and rolling coverage on the story here on NDTV in Breaking Ground, which is the conflict in West Asia. And moments from now, slip into a short break.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
माही कोई कूल बैंक सजेस्ट करो ना जो सोशली कॉन्शियस हो।
फिर तो SBI कूलेस्ट है।
Really?
SBI ने
आपको शायद पता नहीं होगा, अपार ने INS विक्रांत के लिए 150 से ज्यादा तरह के केबल्स बनाए हैं। देश के टॉर्पीडोस में भी हैं अपार के केबल्स। वंदे भारत भी अपार के केबल से ही स्पीड पकड़ती है और यही वायर्स और केबल्स हमारे घरों को भी पावर करते हैं। विश्वास इसमें अपार, तभी तो ये है देश का तार।
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। PNB MetLife रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% guaranteed annuity rate for life. PNB MetLife, always ready for life.
After the roaring success in Delhi, Hyderabad and Mumbai, the NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am now travels to Ahmedabad. India's finest professionals, the city's most accomplished business leaders. Great golf, great company. NDTV DP World PGTI Golf Pro-Am. The course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 8th March, Kalhar Blues and Greens, Ahmedabad.
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसमे।
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
बीजेपी डबल इंजिन सरकार এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
7 American bases in the entire Middle East as part of the 6th wave.
G7 बैठक में उन्होंने मेरा और मेरी डेलीगेशन का गर्मजोशी से स्वागत किया था। आज उसी आत्मीयता से उनका स्वागत करना मेरे लिए सौभाग्य की बात है। दुनिया में बहुत कम लोग हैं जिनके सीवी में 2 देशों की सेंट्रल बैंकिंग लीडरशिप लिखी हो। हमारी पहली बैठक से ही हमारे संबंधों में एक नई ऊर्जा, परस्पर विश्वास और सकारात्मकता आई है। सहयोग के हर क्षेत्र में बढ़ते मोमेंटम का श्रेय मैं अपने मित्र प्रधानमंत्री कार्नी को देता हूं। फ्रेंड्स, भारत और कनाडा लोकतांत्रिक मूल्यों में अटूट विश्वास रखते हैं। हम डाइवर्सिटी को सेलिब्रेट करते हैं। मानवता की भलाई हमारा साझा विजन है। यही विजन हमें हर क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ने की प्रेरणा देता है। आज हमने इस विजन को नेक्स्ट लेवल पार्टनरशिप में ट्रांसफॉर्म करने पर चर्चा की। हमारा लक्ष्य है कि 2030 तक हमारा व्यापार $50 बिलियन तक पहुंचे। आर्थिक सहयोग का पूरा पोटेंशियल अनलॉक करना यह हमारी प्राथमिकता है। इसलिए हमने कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक पार्टनरशिप एग्रीमेंट को जल्द ही फाइनलाइज करने का निर्णय लिया है। इससे दोनों देशों में निवेश और रोजगार के नए अवसर बनेंगे। कनाडा के पेंशन फंड्स ने भारत में $100 बिलियन का निवेश किया है। यह भारत की ग्रोथ स्टोरी में उनके गहरे विश्वास का प्रतीक है। आज हमें दोनों देशों के बिजनेस लीडर से भी मिलेंगे। उनके सुझाव हमारी आर्थिक साझेदारी का रोड मैप तय करेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, टेक्नोलॉजी और इनोवेशन में हम नेचुरल पार्टनर हैं। विथ कनाडा एंड इंडिया इनोवेशन पार्टनरशिप वी विल टर्न आइडियाज इनटू ग्लोबल सॉल्यूशंस। पिछले महीने भारत में हुई एआई इम्पैक्ट समिट की सफलता में कनाडा के बहुमूल्य योगदान के लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री कार्नी का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। हम एआई के साथ साथ क्वांटम, सुपर कंप्यूटिंग और सेमीकंडक्टर्स में सहयोग बढ़ाएंगे। क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स पर आज हुआ एमओयू रिजिलियंट सप्लाई चेन्स को मजबूती देगा। स्पेस सेक्टर में हम दोनों देशों के स्टार्टअप्स और इंडस्ट्रीज को जोड़ेंगे। फ्रेंड्स, प्रधानमंत्री कार्नी के लिए एनवायरमेंट कोई अलग एजेंडा नहीं, बल्कि इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी का हिस्सा रहा है। ऊर्जा के क्षेत्र में हम नेक्स्ट जनरेशन पार्टनरशिप बना रहे हैं, जिसमें हाइड्रोकार्बन के साथ साथ रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन और एनर्जी स्टोरेज पर विशेष बल दिया जाएगा। हमें खुशी है कि कनाडा ने इंटरनेशनल सोलर अलायंस और ग्लोबल बायोफ्यूल अलायंस से जुड़ने का निर्णय लिया है। हमारे साझा प्रयासों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हम इस वर्ष इंडिया कनाडा रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी एंड स्टोरेज समिट आयोजित करेंगे। सिविल न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी में हमने लॉन्ग टर्म यूरेनियम सप्लाई की लैंडमार्क डील की है। हम स्मॉल मॉड्यूलर रिएक्टर्स और एडवांस रिएक्टर्स पर भी मिलकर काम करेंगे। कृषि में वैल्यू एडिशन, एग्री टेक्नोलॉजी और खाद्य सुरक्षा हमारी साझा प्राथमिकताएं हैं। इस दिशा में भारत में इंडिया कनाडा पल्स प्रोटीन सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस स्थापित किया जाएगा। फ्रेंड्स, रक्षा और सुरक्षा के क्षेत्र में बढ़ता सहयोग हमारे गहरे आपसी विश्वास और संबंधों की मैच्योरिटी का प्रतीक है। हम डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रीज, मैरीटाइम डोमेन अवेयरनेस और मिलिट्री एक्सचेंजेज बढ़ाने पर काम करेंगे। इसी उद्देश्य से आज हमने इंडिया कनाडा डिफेंस डायलॉग की स्थापना करने का निर्णय लिया है। फ्रेंड्स, पीपल टू पीपल टाइज हमारे संबंधों की असली ताकत है। आज हमने इन्हें और मजबूत करने के लिए कई महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए हैं। एआई, हेल्थ केयर, एग्रीकल्चर और इनोवेशन में आज कई यूनिवर्सिटीज के बीच नई पार्टनरशिप की घोषणा हो रही है। हम कनाडा की यूनिवर्सिटी द्वारा भारत में कैंपस खोलने पर भी सहमत हुए। इंडिजिनस और ट्राइबल कम्युनिटीज हमारी साझा सांस्कृतिक विरासत का महत्वपूर्ण हिस्सा है। सांस्कृतिक आदान प्रदान बढ़ाने के लिए दोनों पक्षों के बीच आज एमओयू किया गया है। फ्रेंड्स, भारत के लिए कनाडा इंडो पैसिफिक में महत्वपूर्ण साझेदार है। इंडियन ओशन रिम एसोसिएशन में डायलॉग पार्टनर बनने में उनकी रुचि का हम स्वागत करते हैं। इससे हमारे मैरीटाइम सहयोग को नई गहराई मिलेगी। हम सहमत है कि टेररिज्म, एक्सट्रीमिज्म और रेडिकलाइजेशन दोनों देशों के लिए ही नहीं, पूरी मानवता के लिए साझा और गंभीर चुनौतियां हैं। इनके विरुद्ध हमारा करीबी सहयोग वैश्विक शांति और स्थिरता के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। विश्व में चल रहे अनेक तनावों को लेकर भारत की सोच स्पष्ट ही है। हमने सदैव शांति और स्थिरता बनाए रखने का आह्वान किया है और जब दो लोकतंत्र साथ खड़े होते हैं तो शांति की आवाज और भी सशक्त हो जाती है। पश्चिम एशिया की वर्तमान स्थिति हमारे लिए गहरी चिंता का विषय है। भारत डायलॉग और डिप्लोमेसी के माध्यम से सभी विवादों का समाधान का समर्थन करता है। इस क्षेत्र में मौजूद सभी भारतीय नागरिकों की सुरक्षा के लिए हम सभी देशों के साथ मिलकर काम करते रहेंगे। एक्सेलेंसी, आपकी यात्रा से हमारे सहयोग के हर क्षेत्र को एक नई ताकत मिली है। भारत के प्रति आपकी गहरी प्रतिबद्धता और दूरदर्शिता के लिए मैं एक बार फिर आपका हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. May I now request the Right Honourable Mr. Mark Conry, Prime Minister of Canada, to give his remarks to the media.
Thank you very much. I will make my remarks in English and in French. And may I begin by thanking you, Prime Minister Modi, for the generous hospitality that you have extended us here in New Delhi. You've extended my ministers as they've visited, and the spirit of partnership with which you've approached our relationship since we first spoke in my capacity as Prime Minister last June. And as you mentioned, a few weeks later, you made time to come to the G7 summit in Alberta, Canada. 5 months after that, we met in Johannesburg at the G20. And now, today, the first bilateral visit of a Canadian Prime Minister here in 8 years. In the intervening months, our foreign ministers have been busy. They've met 5 times. 4 of my ministers have led delegations here to India. Provincial premiers have been here, including today. There has been more engagement between the Canadian and Indian governments in the last year than there has been in more than 2 decades combined. So, this is not merely the renewal of a relationship. It is the expansion of a valued partnership with new ambition, focus, and foresight, a partnership between 2 confident countries charting our own course for the future. In the last decade, let's just reflect on what's happened. In the last decade, under your leadership, Prime Minister, India has become the fastest growing economy in the world. Per capita incomes in this country have risen at a pace never seen in history, seldom in human history. The most ambitious projects in clean energy, in the digital economy, in biofuels, in the next generation of artificial intelligence talent are all here in India. Prime Minister, Canada shares such ambition and your sense of purpose. Comme l'Inde, le Canada voit un monde en profonde transformation. Comme l'Inde, nous savons que les certitudes qui ont structuré le commerce, la sécurité, la finance et la diplomatie pendant plus d'une génération ont été renversées. Et comme l'Inde, nous reconnaissons que le système multilatéral sur lequel nos deux pays ont longtemps compté et mal adapté aux défis de notre temps. We both know that nostalgia is not a strategy, and that those who succeed in this new era will be those with the confidence, the ambition, and most importantly, the partnerships to build a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous future for all our citizens. And I believe the prescription for success in this new era is well exemplified by the theme of your G20 presidency in 2023, which I had the honor of attending. That theme, of course, one Earth, one family, one future. Because the challenges of our age cannot be solved by one country alone. And only by building on the principles of one Earth, one family, one future can we forge the partnership worthy of our countries. Reconnaissant que nous partagions une seule terre, nous renforçons notre collaboration en matière de climat et d'environnement. Le Canada prévoit de doubler son réseau électrique d'ici 2050 et d'accroître considérablement le déploiement des énergies renouvelables et du stockage de l'énergie. De son côté, l'Inde est une chef de file mondiale dans le domaine de l'énergie solaire à grande échelle. Les technologies de stockage d'énergie et d'autres formes d'énergie renouvelable. C'est pourquoi le Canada et l'Inde tiendront cette année un sommet sur les énergies renouvelables réunissant l'industrie, les investisseurs et les décideurs publics afin d'élargir et de diversifier le commerce des technologies propres. Et nous bâtissons, à partir de maintenant, un partenariat énergétique pour un avenir plus durable. India is a country whose demand growth for energy is projected to double by 2040. And to meet that demand sustainably, India plans to increase its renewable capacity by 500 gigawatts by the end of this decade, and to almost double the share of LNG in its primary energy mix over the same period. Canada is well positioned to contribute as a reliable supplier of the world's lowest carbon, responsibly produced LNG from our west coast. As India seeks access to critical minerals for its manufacturing, its clean tech, and its nuclear plans, Canada's resource base and world-leading companies position it as a strategic partner. As one example, the nuclear agreement, the uranium agreement signed today. As another, the fact that 40% of the world's mining companies are listed in Canada. Today, we are launching a strategic energy partnership with significant potential to expand bilateral energy trade. We've signed, as you've seen, a new critical minerals partnership spanning development, processing, and secure supply chains for clean energy, electric vehicles, and advanced manufacturing. We're deepening our cooperation in clean energy, expanding collaboration across wind, solar, and hydrogen. Because Canada has big plans as well. We plan to double our grid by 2050, and India can be a major partner in this expansion. As you've seen, the government of India and Cameco have signed a major $2.6 billion uranium supply agreement supporting India's nuclear ambitions and our shared commitment to clean, reliable baseload power. All of these agreements, under one planet, are beginning of a new prosperous relationship that will offer generational opportunities for workers and businesses in both our countries, and which will protect the planet for future generations. Secondly, we are one family. The greatest, most enduring strengths between Canada and India are the families who call our nations home. Nearly 2 million Canadians trace their roots to India, including leaders in business, science, culture, and government. Tens of thousands of people travel between our countries every year to visit friends and family. 400,000 talented Indians study in Canada. That is twice the number in the United States. It is 4 times the number in the United Kingdom. These students, these connections, deepen our ties. And so we're collaborating to build on those strengths. We've launched the new Canada-India Talent and Innovation Strategy with 13 new partnerships to deepen our ties in education. And this includes collaborations involving McGill, the University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, to work across artificial intelligence, health sciences, and digital architecture. Notre partenariat va propulser des centaines de chercheurs canadiens et indiens grâce à des projets de recherche conjoints de pointe. Nous lançons de nouvelles bourses et de nouveaux programmes de fellowship pour l'Indo-Pacifique afin d'accroître la mobilité universitaire et de former la prochaine génération de talents. Over the longer horizon, the Prime Minister mentioned a moment ago the $100 billion of investments already in India by our pension funds. Those pension funds have $2 trillion in capital. There are already some of the largest foreign investors here, potential for significant growth, particularly given the scale of the infrastructure build in this country. And thirdly, we share one future. That's why we're forging deeper ties in frontier technologies from AI to space. At the G20, India and Canada signed a landmark trilateral partnership with with Australia on AI and critical minerals. And we've already identified key sectors such as digital infrastructure, semiconductors, electronics manufacturing, and high-performance computing. With the agreements today, we're going to expand our collaboration between the Canadian Space Agency and the Indian Space Research Organization on Earth observation, on climate monitoring, on generating the data that powers agriculture, disaster response, climate resilience across the Indo-Pacific. And our partnerships will be reinforced by the strong foundations we are building in trade and defense. We're advancing towards a Canada-India Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with the aim to conclude by the end of this year. This ambitious agreement will reduce barriers, increase certainty, unlock opportunity for exporters, investors, and workers in both our countries with the aim to double trade by the end of this decade. And we're renewing defense and security cooperation through a new defense partnership, through maritime collaboration in the Indo-Pacific, through professional military exchange, and practical coordination and cooperation on our shared security interests. One of the things that has always struck me in Prime Minister Modi's stewardship of this country has, well, India becomes a great power, the focus has remained on all households, ensuring that all households benefit from the progress. So give an example. The Ujjiwala scheme, which provides liquefied petroleum gas for tens of millions, actually hundreds of millions of rural and low-income households. Cleaner cooking fuels, reducing pollution, saving lives, and reducing costs. Or another example, and I speak under the control of the former Governor Das, I should say. It's always tough to give up being a governor, isn't it, Governor? But the revolution in digital payments to provide income support, crop insurance payments directly to individuals, but the spillover benefits are enormous. And part of our agreements is to explore an ability to cooperate further so that Canada benefits from this innovation. The bigger point is that our partnerships from energy to AI share this spirit so that Canada and India can harness technologies, deliver equally transformative benefits to hundreds of millions of people. Now, to close, we're charting a future of one Earth, one family, one planet, or one future. And I was reminded as I was coming here as Swami Vivekananda, of course, one of the greatest philosophers. And more than a century ago, I hadn't realized this until I read it, but he, in his travels, spent time in both Vancouver and Winnipeg. And in his travels and his texts, he personified this maxim: arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. With this partnership, we will advance, we will not stop until the goals of Viksit Bharat 2047 and Canada Strong are reached. It moves us forward, it builds our prosperity, it builds for all, and it builds for a better world. Thank you very much for your invitation.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was the bilateral meeting and the joint press statement after the meeting between the Prime Minister of Canada and India. The big takeaway is also what Prime Minister Modi has said, that India stands for peace. He went on to say that the West Asia war is a matter of concern and India supports diplomacy and dialogue. Breaking news just coming in. According to sources, India has cleared its stance on the Iranian Supreme Leader Khamenei's killing. According to sources, the stance mirrors response of major global powers. No G7 country has issued condolences. Only 10 of 57 Muslim countries have expressed condolences over the death of Khamenei. India's response is driven by national interests, is what sources are telling NDTV. Gulf states' key India partners are under attack. Now, the opposition's framing of India's silence as communal is baseless. Again, what sources are telling NDTV. Sovereign responses prioritize national interest. India's silence safeguards ties with Gulf partners. The killing of Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei in joint US-Israel strikes was condemned by several opposition parties on Sunday. Akhilesh joining me on the phone line. Akhilesh, just take us through the details. This is what your sources are telling you about why India hasn't come out and put out an official statement on the killing of Khamenei.
Well, India has made it very clear that its position is actually with the national interest-driven response, and AME has already urged resistant dialogue and it has already condemned Iran's action on UAE allies. As far as condemnation of Khamenei's death is concerned, several opposition parties have raised the demand that the Modi government should condemn it, but the government sources are very clear that so far no G7 democracy has issued any condolence message. In fact, if you talk about the relationship Khamenei had with India, you can find out that on several occasions in the past, be it the issue of Kashmir or any other matter, he has tried to intervene in the internal matter of India, and which was not accepted by the government of India. And as far as the opposition party, the Congress party is concerned, during their time also, during the UPA government time, the UPA government had several times supported sanctions on Iran as far as the IAEA meeting is concerned. So the government should have pointing it out that it's a double standard as far as the opposition parties are concerned.
Okay, thanks for joining me, Akhilesh, on that developing story. All right, continuing with a rolling coverage on the crisis in the Middle East, Kuwait has now confirmed that several US military aircraft have crashed. All crew is safe, is what they're saying, after a US aircraft incident took place. Kuwait also goes on to say that the crew condition is stable and coordination is underway with the US. Investigations have been launched into the cause of the crash. That was one video that we had brought to you from Kuwait of a jet crashing. Now you have Kuwait coming out and making a statement on this and confirming that not one but several US military aircraft have been downed, have crashed, but the crew, we're being told, is safe after the incident there on your screens. The crew condition is stable and coordination is underway with the United States of America. You can even see the pilot who ejected from the jet moments after the plane was going down. You can also see the fire that jet had caught at the rear. We have Ghazali joining me live from the newsroom. Ghazali, just take us through what else Kuwait has said at this point. Till now, we were calling this a jet crash, a jet going down in Kuwait, but now it's been confirmed perhaps that this is a US aircraft.
Yeah, so Kuwaiti military has confirmed that several US military aircraft have crashed in a statement issued just a short while ago. They said that all crews are safe after US aircraft incident, and they are coordinating with the US authorities to ascertain the reason of this crash. Earlier we were being told that perhaps Iran was behind this attack. A missile attack led to the crashing of this US F-15 jet. There were similar reports, some conflicting reports said that perhaps it was a friendly fire, but as of now, first thing has been confirmed by Kuwaiti authorities that it has a F-15 jet has crashed down. The reasons are not known yet. They're also they haven't confirmed or denied about the friendly fire reason as for the downing of this F-15 jet.
Okay, thanks for joining me live. There are more details on the jet. Iran has claimed that it has shot down a F-15 fighter jet which crashed in Kuwait as the Middle East war escalated. Visuals which have emerged showed a F-15 jet spiraling downwards in slow motion with flames visible from its rear. At that point, it wasn't immediately clear if the plane belonged to the US or Israel, but Kuwait now coming out and making that confirmation or clarification. Clips widely shared online appear to show a parachute descending, while other footage published by local media shows what is believed to be the pilot on the ground after ejecting. So you have Kuwait now coming out and saying that not one but many jets belonging to the US have been down. Following this, US has issued also an advisory for its nationals in Kuwait, asking them to avoid the embassy amid continuing threat. This after the US embassy in Kuwait was also struck by Iran. News coming in, Iranian Shahed 136 drones have struck an Aramco oil refinery in Ras Tanura in Saudi Arabia. Remember, Aramco is the world's biggest oil company. You can see smoke also billowing from the compound where this oil refinery is stationed. There on your screens, this is a developing story. Iran has struck the Aramco oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. We are waiting word from Saudi Arabia on this incident that has taken place, which is a part of the retaliatory strikes by Iran in the larger Mideast region. We have Ghazali joining me live. Ghazali, tell us more about this fire that we can see on our screens. Has that been doused? How serious is this retaliatory strike by Iran?
Though it looks a very major attack, but the Aramco authorities have confirmed that it was a minor attack. The fire has been doused, but they have also confirmed that the operations at that particular terminal in Ras Tanura has been suspended. The oil extraction process has been suspended. It is located near the Dammam province of Saudi Arabia, and this is a major attack in terms that Iran has not even left attacking Saudi Arabia, which has all this while promised or kept reiterating that they want de-escalation in the region. There have been conflicting reports that how Saudi Arabia perhaps pushed Mr. Trump to go after Iran, but Saudi Arabia has come out publicly claiming and refuting those reports, saying that we have always sort of campaigned for peace. We were the ones who asked US that we won't allow our airspace to be used for Iran. But despite all these claims, Iran yet again went ahead and attacked the Saudis' oil refinery there in Ras Tanura.
Okay, thanks for joining me live there. That's the latest that we have for you. You do see smoke billowing out, but this doesn't seem to be a massive attack is what we're picking up at this point. Also, some sources telling us that the refinery for now has been temporarily shut. That's the latest that Ghazali is bringing to you. And the retaliatory strikes continue. Now we're being told that a US military base in Kuwait has been attacked by Iran after the attack on the US embassy. A military base is also under attack. The US Embassy, remember, in Kuwait has said that people should not come to the facility, and there was smoke also that could be seen rising from the diplomatic mission on Iran's third day of the retaliatory Gulf attacks. But that's the latest that we have for you right now, that a US military base has also been attacked in Kuwait. The situation remains tense. Ghazali back with us. Ghazali, after the US Embassy, now a US military base on Iran's radar inside Kuwait.
And Iran is doing exactly what it had committed. That first it said that all the US properties, air bases, army bases in the entire Middle East region will come under attack, and has turned into a legitimate target moments after Mr. Khamenei was killed. And this is exactly what we are hearing now, that first embassy, now the another base of another US base has been attacked in Kuwait. Now, Kuwait, Bahrain and UAE are the closest allies of United States in the Middle East, and that is why they are facing maximum brunt or maximum portion of the attack from Iran. Whether it's commercial establishment, whether it's army infrastructure or any other establishment or base related to United States has come under attack, latest being the embassy and another air base in Kuwait.
Okay, Ghazali, thanks for joining us there. That's the latest that we have for you from Ghazali. We're being told that an oil refinery in Saudi Arabia has been attacked by Iran. Also getting news in that in Kuwait, there are more US military bases that are being targeted. This after the US Embassy was also on target. Now it's time to take you through the widespread damage across the region, be it Iran, be it Israel, or be it some other Gulf nations. Here are some visuals defining images that I'm going to take you through. Iran has launched an attack on Saudi oil infrastructure, targeting the Aramco refinery in Ras Tanura. Aramco is the world's largest oil company. Iran releases footage of its drone arsenal and launches towards US-Israeli targets in the region. Iranian state media has also shared a video of a fighter jet F-15 Strike Eagle crashing in Kuwait while the pilot safely ejected before impact. Direct ballistic missile strike in Jerusalem. Medical teams are seen in this video scanning the area for the wounded. Multiple injuries reported.
No way! No way! No way!
Several people have been injured after an Iranian ballistic missile struck a road in West Jerusalem. Missiles could be seen bypassing air defenses in the city. This as Iran retaliated with a fresh wave of missile attacks on Israel. Multiple injuries reported. Inferno at the docks. Massive blaze breaks out at maritime facility near Key Manama port following the Iranian attack in Bahrain. Iran has launched a barrage of missiles on Bahrain. Bahrain has condemned the revenge strikes on US allies.
נפילה שם. כן. אבל זו כמות גדולה, ענקית.
The conflict fire has also spread to other Gulf nations. Drone attacks continue to be reported in Bahrain. The skyline shows a plume of smoke over the capital city. A huge fire reportedly ignited by an Iranian strike on a U.S. naval facility at Bahrain's Salman port. The port houses the U.S. Navy's Central Command and 5th Fleet. A U.S. military base in Erbil, Iraqi Kurdistan, has reportedly been attacked by Iran. The theater of the Middle East war continues expanding. For the first time ever, Israel used the Iron Beam to intercept rockets fired by Hezbollah as Hezbollah joined the war with Iran and launched rockets and drones from Lebanon. The IDF has struck weapons storage facilities and additional infrastructure of the terrorist organization Hezbollah in several areas in Lebanon. IDF target Beirut after Hezbollah launched strikes on Israeli base. Beirut Airport Road has been targeted in those strikes. Israel launched strikes in Lebanon's capital, Beirut, after the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah fired missiles across the border. Israel continues to pound Iran. Several consecutive explosions took place at a site in eastern Tehran. Police Station 104 in Tehran's Abbasabad district, a government building, was targeted in the recent US-Israeli strikes. The video shows the scale of destruction. The IDF has intensified attacks on Iran following recent escalation. US military has claimed strike on Iran's ballistic missile facilities. In a video released by Central Command, US claimed Iran's ballistic missiles have been a dangerous threat for decades, a threat that is being eliminated now. And we, of course, are trying to get your voices from across the region. Ranjit Balakrishnan, NDTV journalist, joining me live from Bahrain at this point. Ranjit, firstly, I hope you're safe and you're well. Please, for the benefit of our viewers, tell us what has been happening across Bahrain as there have been missiles and drones that have been hitting areas.
Yes, thank you for having me in. Yeah, we have been under attack for the past 3 days. Since last night, around 2 o'clock onwards, around a couple of hours back, there were sounds of attacks, and the Bahrain Defense Forces have effectively, in support with the US Navy, have effectively intercepted 99.9% of them. And the attacks are actually, aiming at the US naval base. The Fifth Fleet of US Navy is located in Bahrain, and that's the reason they are attacking that, the Mina Salman port, and where a ship has been attacked. And unfortunately, after the interception, the debris have fallen onto one of the Asian worker there, and one got injured, and one casualty is there. That's what the news have come out so far, and there are no other casualties. And the civilians are basically, the civilian life is also, though it is affected, the government have issued a caution as well as to stay inside, and there are enough shelters has been assigned. And
Yes.
the area where near to the US base, which is called the Jufair district, has been effectively evacuated, and the people are safely taken care, and the food and the rest of the things are taken care, and all the schools are closed. They are being advised to go online, and 99% of the, unless the effective emergency staffs,
Yes.
except the emergency staff, all the people in the private companies are also working online at the moment.
Okay, thanks for joining me live then for that update there from Bahrain. You have Ranjit there bringing us the latest. There is some breaking news coming in. Iran's message to the people of Israel, IRGC, has put out this message saying, leave the country immediately. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps urged people in Israel on Monday to stay away from military bases and government and security sites and leave the country immediately. We recommend that residents of the occupied territory stay away from military bases, security and government centers, and immediately leave the occupied territories, is what IRGC has said in that statement. Okay, joining me live at this point is Chako Valiappa. He's the founder of V Technologies and founder of Hirimi. He joins us live. He's been stuck in Dubai for the past 48 hours. Also joining me back on Breaking Ground is Burzeen Wagma, Center for Iranian Studies, SOAS, University of London. Also at this point, we are joined by former diplomat Anil Triguniath. I'm going to go to Burzeen first. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me live at this point. Burzeen, I want to understand from you the situation in the Mideast as of now being extremely volatile, no stakeholder even close to blinking first. You have Donald Trump coming out and saying this could be a protracted conflict. What are the stakes here for Iran?
Iran is against the wall. It's an existential crisis for the regime, a desperate, embattled regime, which is lashing out irrationally. Hence this scattergun approach in also targeting civilians, and not to mention Oman too, for good measure, which feels the full wrath of its arsenal now. But I want to back up with some preliminaries, please. There was a mention made of the G7 democracies that have not commiserated on Khamenei's demise, and the question of India not doing so or being ambivalent. Well, New Delhi, as the world's largest democracy, ought to know better that Khamenei's regime was a stain on humanity. And let's call it out for what it's worth. A 37-year regime run on savagery and stupidity that has brought Iran to where it is. Then there is the question of only 10 of 57 OIC fellow Muslim member states having commiserated on Khamenei's passing. Which reminds me of that OIC summit in December 1997, Vedika, in Tehran. And what happened then? This was when President Khatami, a reformist, was in power, and many optimists across the West and elsewhere thought Iran might be turning a page. Some of us, including myself, thought otherwise. And of course, we've turned out trumps, literally, with what we've seen over the last 25 years. And I mentioned that OIC summit because even when things were relatively civil in the Muslim world between Iran and its Arab partners, only 6 out of 22 Arab heads of states bothered turning up in Tehran for that OIC summit, which otherwise is not something noticed at regular OIC summits where heads of states always do turn up. So that time even then told me, and now reminds me to mention to your viewers of where the Arab world stands with Iran. So those are 2 points. Then there's the question of the S-300 batteries that Moscow delivered to Tehran in 2016. I can now inform you both have been destroyed in the opening hours of 28th Feb when the fight, sorties of Operation Epic Fury began. Both have been taken out, including the defense ring around Tehran, which is completely knocked out.
All right,
So
Ambassador, I want to bring you in right now. Burzine, I'll come back to you. But Ambassador, we've just heard from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. There was a bilateral discussion, of course, with his Canadian counterpart, where he has come out and said on the West Asia conflict that India stands for peace. But we have so many Indians in the region at this point. This is a conflict that is escalating by the minute, by the hour. How do you view India's stance at this point?
Well, because the thing is that India, for India, the stability and security of the region is of existential importance. And that is precisely because of several reasons, which I put as 4 E's. The first one is energy security. The 60-70% of the energy comes from there. And after the United States compelled India, we have started buying more from Saudi Arabia, which is also going to be impacted very heavily now, which will have a direct impact on our developmental thing and industrial growth. Second is the economic engagement. Thousands of Indian companies are there which have invested billions of dollars in these countries. And then thirdly is the ease of navigation. And we are going to see that all these Strait of Hormuz or the Red Sea and all these are going to be coming under tremendous fire. And there will be, we're already seeing the differences and the problems that are happening. And the most important thing for India today is the safety and security of its 10 million Indians who are in the region. Now, that has been the biggest challenge for India. That's the reason we have been talking to all the partners, everybody, including Iran, Israel, and all the Gulf countries, where we have the majority of Indians, asking them to scale down and to have a peace. In my view, personally, this was an illegal war. And this war, whether, I mean, I have always maintained it, and that's been India's position also.
Ambassador, I want to ask you, does this complicate India's links and ties with Israel and Iran simultaneously?
No. This does not complicate our ties with anybody. The problem is that they have been suffering from this mad syndrome since 1979. Both Iran and Israel and United States has been working this way or that way, but has stood firmly with Israel. Obviously, it wants Israel to have the primacy in the region. Everybody knows it. That's their fundamental policy in the region. Nobody has, I mean, personally, I don't think that Ayatollah Khamenei, I think his time has already come up, but whatever it is, at the same time, external interventions for regime change is not something that this world can afford. And what is happening in the Middle East already, we are seeing the kind of warmongering that is going on, the bombing here and there. Ordinary people are suffering, countries are suffering. The whole power balance is changing in the region. I mean, that is something you hardly need. And what you get out of it is something. I was ambassador to Libya. Let me mention one more thing. And I have seen the US intervention there. What has happened to that country till today? You have seen what happened to Iraq. Now, do you want another Iran, which will be far more dangerous in the region?
All right, Ambassador, I will have to interrupt you there. There is some breaking news coming in. I'm going to come back to our panelists. But the big update coming in from Bahrain at this point, the U.S. Embassy in Bahrain has said terrorist groups are plotting attacks on U.S. citizens. The U.S. Embassy in Bahrain has warned that terror groups and those inspired by such organizations are intent on attacking U.S. citizens abroad. In a statement, the embassy encouraged U.S. citizens to avoid hotels in Manama, saying they could be targeted. Terrorist groups continue plotting possible attacks in Bahrain. Terrorists may attack with little or no warning, is what it added. This is a huge development that I'm going to discuss with Arjun, who joins me live from the newsroom at this point. Arjun, you have the U.S. Embassy saying U.S. citizens are now on target in the region.
That's absolutely right. The US Embassy in Bahrain, we're getting to listen, has just come out with an advisory for all its citizens to, in fact, avoid hotels in capital Manama. Now, this advisory comes right after we saw the Crown Plaza Hotel, one of the biggest hotels in capital Manama, in fact, also being targeted by Iranian drones and missiles both. Now, very importantly, I would like to mention here that all US personnel, all US government personnel have already been evacuated by US authorities from hotels in downtown Manama. Not only this, Vedika, the US has now raised, as we speak, it's just raised its travel advisory to level 3 in Manama. This is news breaking first here on NDTV. Now, under this level 3 travel advisory, all non-essential US government personnel in the country, along with their families, an authorization has come straight from the Pentagon, from Washington, to be able to authorizing them to, in fact, to be able to leave the country. But for now, even for US citizens who are not part of the government establishment, so to say, they have been advised to stay clear, especially of hotels in capital Manama. Back to you.
And we've seen the attacks in Manama. We've seen the attacks elsewhere as well, Arjun, where we've seen US bases, be it military or embassies, also being on the radar.
Of course, as I was just mentioning, we saw the Crown Plaza Hotel in Manama being hit yesterday. It's not only the Crown Plaza Hotel. Vedika, across the Gulf, we've seen attacks on multiple countries, and we've also seen attacks on multiple civilian institutions. You talk about the Al Burj, you talk about the Jumeirah area, you talk about the Fairmont Hotel, where we saw that Iranian drone go and hit on the first day of the conflict. So this, critic says, also the strategy of not only targeting US establishments but also targeting hotels and other establishments is also a strategy being used by Iran to, in fact, have these world leaders not only call Donald Trump but also call his family members, because it's very important to mention here that the US and the Trump family, they have a lot of economic interests all around these Arab nations. So Iran is likely also using these strikes as some sort of a leveraging chip to get US agree to a ceasefire sooner than later. Back to you.
All right, thanks for joining me, Arjun, with the latest there. You have US citizens that are on target. That's what you have breaking here. The US is saying that terror groups are plotting attacks on Americans. That's the big story and the big update coming in from the US Embassy in Bahrain. Arjun bringing you the update from there. Well, the Middle East conflict is intensifying, with fresh strikes reported across multiple areas and strong statements from key leaders. Day after the killing of Khamenei, Iran has intensified its attack on Israel, with missile strikes being reported in Jerusalem. Multiple vehicles and civilian areas were targeted by Iran in Jerusalem. Israel has targeted multiple areas in several areas of Iran, including government buildings in Tehran. Israel also used its Iron Beam intercept Hezbollah rockets. Meanwhile, Iran has retaliated by targeting Saudi oil refinery and targeting US naval base in Bahrain. While earlier, Iran had signaled it was open to talks. Later, top Iran security official, and this is important to note, has said that it will not negotiate with the United States of America.
Regarding to find some solution, regarding for this matter, that the Iranian side always reiterate to find the one, diplomatic solution in this matter. And so we have submitted our proposals. But now we are defending ourselves, because the one act of aggression imposed us. And so there is no doubt that we are doing our rights of our inherent right of self-defense. Now we are defending ourselves. That's it. But they are coming to attack us in our region and using all of the military troops and facilities against the Iranian people. And so there is no any room to defense. We should defend ourselves. But we do believe that if they are genuine and decisive and determined to find one diplomatic solution, there is no doubt that the Iranian side will come.
This is a chance and an opportunity that will not come again, because you will have your moment, a moment where you will be demanded to take to the street in order to finish the work and to topple this regime.
And the other developing story when it comes to this conflict is that the Hezbollah has joined in with Iran in the war against Israel. Conflict has spread to Lebanon as IDF strikes Hezbollah after the attack on Israel. Israel launched a barrage of strikes on Lebanon's capital after the Hezbollah fired missiles across the border. The IDF has also hit weapons storage facilities and additional infrastructure of the terrorist organization in several areas of Lebanon. Meanwhile, the head of Hezbollah's parliamentary faction, Mohammad Raad, has been killed during IDF strikes, and Israeli air attacks in Lebanon have killed at least 31 people and wounded close to 150. Beirut's airport road also has been destroyed in the Israeli attacks, whereas people are also seen fleeing Beirut's southern suburbs after Israeli strikes hit the area. In a statement, Israel has said they have targeted senior Hezbollah figures in Beirut. Moving on, US President Donald Trump made a big comment on the killing of Iran's supreme leader, Khamenei, asserting that he moved first to neutralize what he described as an imminent threat to his own life. He claimed, and I'm going to quote him here, "I got him before he got me. They tried twice. Well, I got him first," unquote, apparently referring to a 2024 Iran-linked plot that US authorities had earlier said was aimed at assassinating Donald Trump. Trump further asserted that the war with Iran can go on for the next 4 weeks, as he says Iran is a big country.
Cannot allow a nation that raises terrorist armies to possess such weapons that would allow them to extort the world to their evil will. Not going to let it happen. These actions are right and they are necessary to ensure that Americans will never have to face a radical, bloodthirsty terrorist regime armed with nuclear weapons and lots of threats. I once again urge the Revolutionary Guard, the Iranian military, police, to lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death. It will be certain death.
Simply a short break. I'll be back with the headlines and the top news from the region in moments from now.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
First India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
7 American bases in the entire Middle East as part of the 6th wave of attacks in retaliation to the Israel-US strikes that were conducted earlier. Some of these bases include those in UAE, Qatar and Bahrain. Iran's supreme leader, protests have erupted in various parts of the world and not just limited to Iran. Protests have erupted in India and the protests have become extremely violent in Pakistan, also in Iraq. In Pakistan's Karachi, as many as 9 protesters have died so far after clashing with law enforcement personnel, where reports suggest that the US Marine opened fire. Now we have the video, the 11-second video of exactly how that strike took place. We also are now able to piece together the intel breakthrough that led to that strike being successful. Now, we are going to tell that to you point by point exactly how that happened. Israeli intelligence detected a high-level meeting to be held in Tehran. The intel that it had picked up was that Khamenei was set to meet the top aides of his top aides on the morning of Saturday. And that included Defense Minister as well of Iran, someone who's very close to the dispensation. And then also some of the other top aides that were to be in the meeting included IRGC Commander Mohammad Pakpor. And in addition to that, several others as well. And accordingly, this
Welcome back. You're with NDTV 24/7. I'm Vedika Sood. We've been trying to get you all the developments minute by minute that is taking place in the Middle East with the West Asia conflict that is underway. You have Donald Trump saying that this conflict could go on for 4 weeks. That's a long time. And you have Iran absolutely adamant that it's not going to back down. A quick check on the headlines at 2 p.m. after which we bring you ground reports. Iran attacks Aramco oil refinery in Saudi Arabia. Aramco has temporarily shut its Ras Tanura refinery after the facility was struck by Iranian drones.